Hi everyone, I'm just getting set up. I'm going to put it so I can see the chat. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me. It's Tuesday, December 10th. I'm so excited to be back on live with all of you. I wanted to give you an update that this past weekend I officially became monetized. So thank you so much to everybody who's been tuning in, whether it's on my lives or if it's just watching my channel. So I do really appreciate all the love and support that I have received. Hi Arnetta. It's been so dreary in New York all day too. I thought it was supposed to only rain tomorrow, and it's just been rainy and yucky all day and cold, and I think tomorrow too, or at least the morning. So hi Kim. So how are you guys doing? So tonight I am going to work on the Dragon Hugo bag. I had made a video of how I appliqued the entire face a while ago, and I haven't gotten to sewing it yet because this bag is for me, so it kind of took a back place, or but one of my friends, Lori, was like, when are you sewing it up? So I finished cutting it out, and I'm gonna start working on it tonight. I definitely won't finish it because there's a lot of details, and I am making a little bit of some changes to it. So I do have a tutorial for, like I said, I have a tutorial for the entire dragon face, and then a separate one that has the bat bag. And the bat bag is made like according to the tutorial or to the pattern. So if you're interested in that, I do have those. Hi Dawn. Thank you everyone for joining in. So I am going to, I think, start with pockets tonight. And on the back of the bag, this pattern is by Carbon Chic, by the way. She's out, it's Demi, she's out of Australia. I love this pattern just because there's so many different options. And all the vinyls on here are from My Punk Broidery. So this was actually like a crocodile one. So I just love the texture for the dragon. So in Demi's pattern, she has it where you can like fold the vinyl onto itself so you don't have the raw edge. Where this is just for me and I want it to be quicker to sew. So I left it raw edge. And everything is like interfaced already. The lining is polka dot water resistant canvas that I carry in the shop. We're sold out of this print right now. I do have it on pre-order, but it's like my favorite lining. I feel like the polka dots just match everything. So I'm going to start with the outside zipper pocket. And I have a whole bunch of stuff cut out to the left of me. You can't really see it on camera. I have some zipper tape here already. And I'm just going to grab a different pair of scissors. Alright, well I guess the other one. The ones right here are like more of like fabric, so I don't really like cutting zipper tape with them, but that's alright. I don't know where the others are right now. And I could put my zipper pull on now, but I find this part easier. How I'm doing it is I'm just attaching the zipper first, and then I'm going to put it up towards the zipper box. So, hi Liz! Liz, I love seeing your pictures from the Sew Whatever studio with your daughter. Your bags came out awesome. And right now I have my Teflon foot on. I think it'll be fine for the zipper. Usually it does work, so I'm going to keep it. If it gives me trouble, I'll switch out to a regular zipper foot. Yeah, Brittany's new pattern looks amazing. I can't wait till she releases it. That's funny, Kim. Sorry, I'm like turning around my foot pedal. It was like all twisted. So for this bag tonight, I'm going to be changing up quite a few different things. So I'm hoping that it goes smoothly on camera. Normally, this is something that I would do off camera if there's mistakes or whatever. Like, I don't mind because that's how we learn. But yeah, so since I'm not following the pattern exactly, it might be a little bit off the fly. Oh wow, Liz, you drove for all the way from Alabama? Oh, that's so cool. I know, if we go out to Mormino, like, I was like, I need to go to the Arch. So that's really cool. It's nice to make it a little trip. That's still what I tried to do when like going to the expos or anything, like turn it into a little mini vacation. Oh, 6 hours, that's really not that bad. It just, I guess not looking on a map, it would seem much further. Alright, so I just lined up the edges and I'm sewing the zipper so that way it will look like this when I insert it into the pocket. I actually really don't mind driving and road trips. And I get really motion sickness, so like I always drive everywhere. Oh, okay, so yeah, you're a little bit further up, so it's not like you're coming from way down, because Alabama is a pretty like long state. Alright, so now this is going to be my zipper pocket in the back, and this is a bound bag, so I don't have to turn through it. So I didn't cut this off the bottom or anything like that. I'm going to add my zipper pull. Cute, got a dog instead. I love the picture of George today dropping off the kids at school. So cute. Alright, and because this isn't directional, it doesn't really matter what side I put my zipper pull on. I am going to make sure that when I actually put it onto the back of the bag that it's going left to right. Alright, and I just put mine on with my hands for the most part. I don't own a zipper jig. I feel like I just kind of got used to it, that it's not so bad. And I don't know if the camera will catch it, but this is my favorite zipper tape that we carry. We call it Majestic tape because it's not a rainbow. It's supposed to be a blue-green shift, but depending what you put it next to, it picks up different colors. So tonight this almost looks like a gold and pink. But from like far away, it looks like black. So I usually pair it with black or gunmetal pulls, sometimes even like rainbow too. And I'm just using standard pulls. I was thinking about getting some dragon pulls, but I didn't order any in time. Alright, I'm gonna grab some double-sided tape. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this on with the double-sided tape, but I'm gonna only do the top part first because I need to move the bottom out of the way. If I don't move that, then it's going to sew my pocket close. Oh yeah, it's nice when you can split the drive. So I just ran that across the top, so that way it's mostly out of my stitch line. And what I'm going to do is just take my time and center this to make sure that this pocket sits between, that I have enough on the sides that I'll be able to sew up the panels. And I'm turning it towards myself so I can see better that I'm putting this on straight, or as straight as I can get it. And I'm just checking the back to make sure that it, again, it's within that opening that I've already cut. Hi, Nicole. How are you doing? All right. And my thread that's in here is black, which is going to show up a lot on this vinyl, but I really don't feel like switching out to the pink. And like I said, this one is for me, so I'm not too worried about it. And this is the back of the bag. No one's gonna look that closely. I just like having a back pocket always that I can, especially in crossbodies, I can slip my phone in. And I think I'm going to tie it in the back instead of back stitching. All right. So I hand cranked it a little bit. I'm going to try actually just using the, the foot pedal and see if it, hopefully it doesn't stick. So if you guys celebrate any of the upcoming holidays, are any of you making any gifts? I've thought about sewing a few things up just for like fun, but like a fun gift, but I'm not sure if I'll end up having the time. Oh, the puppy. How's the new puppy doing? And I just grabbed my stiletto. What I'm doing is I'm tugging on the thread on the back that I left long, and it creates a little loop that I'm pulling up so that way I can tie this off at the back. And you can put fray check on this too. I honestly usually just kind of triple knot it and call it a day. And I don't burn it down, especially if it's not visible, because I don't want to accidentally burn my knot off. How's your 12 days of sewing going, Kim? Do you have them done, or are you still in the process of recording? Oh, throwing rolls. Oh, that's funny. Now I need to look this place up. I've never heard of Lambert's either. Is it a chain, or is it like a one restaurant place? Oh, he's 9 weeks. Cute. Alright, so this actually wasn't even that bad because I'm using the textured croc vinyl, you don't even really notice the top stitching, and even if it's like stuck a little bit, you don't see it at all because of that texture. So I'm glad I didn't take the time to switch out the thread because you really can't see it. Oh, one in Missouri, one in Alabama. Nice. All right, so this is the part where I have sewed so many pockets sewn doing it this method. So now I'm going to fold it up so that way when I top stitch along the bottom, it doesn't sew my pocket closed. If you don't flip it up, then that's what happens. I didn't sew the sides down yet. I know some people do the bottom first and then go up and around. It's just easier for my brain to do the top. So I'm just making it a little bit more complicated by having to sew 4 different sides. But it works out. And there's the other method that I've also included in my patterns too, where you cut this open, and so when the pockets are folded out each way, then you can just sew the box. But doing it this way creates it so you don't see the end of your zipper tape inside. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. I didn't put double-sided tape on the bottom, only the top, so I'm just kind of holding it and going by eye, and I'm hand cranking it in to start, and then we'll use my foot pedal. And I've been moving the zipper pull out of the way. And I just try to judge by eye to make sure that I'm kind of starting and stopping in the same area. Oh, you changed it to weekly. Tomorrow and Saturday, John. Oh no. I hope he feels better. There's so many sicknesses going around right now, especially like in the north where it's getting colder. I feel like one day we have really cold weather and the next day is really hot. Oh, I finished my marathon video. I made that my goal the other week. As soon as I tie this, I'll show you. So this coming Saturday, what Kim is mentioning is the next sewing marathon, and we're doing 30-minute videos. So for items that would make good, like, I mean, it could be Christmas gifts or gifts for anything, that can be done in about 30 minutes or so. I'm really excited. I think I have mine set up already. I think it premieres at 12:30 is my time slot. I have to double check, but I'm almost positive it's 12:30. And again, I'm just tying off my threads on this back side here. I probably could have backstitched because it just blends in so nicely with the crocodile vinyl. Alright, so perfect. So I just have to do down the sides now to block where the zipper, so the zipper doesn't go all the way through. But what I do like about this method is that when you open it, because you lifted it up and down, you don't see the end of the zipper tape. So sometimes doing it the other method, you can see the end or you get the knot. So this way is definitely more time consuming, but I really do love the look. So let me show you real quick. So this is mine for the marathon this weekend. It's the accordion wallet by Ginger from Lux Hardware. So she sells the accordion inserts as well as Soulful Therapy. So when I went out to Mojo Sews for their sewing weekend, this was the pattern that Michelle taught, and I loved it. So it's just, I used 2 layers of vinyl. Michelle had extra inserts, so I bought 2 from her. So these originally came from Soulful Therapy, and then it's a 4.5-inch bar clasped, and I love it. So it works so nicely, and I don't know if the camera picks it up. I'm also streaming on TikTok, so if I'm pointing it the wrong way, that's why too. I used Mojo Sew's base coat and mixed some paints to make purple, and then used her purple glitter over it for the edge, and I just love how it turned out. And Michelle right now is running a special. If you like edge painting or use edge paints, she just opened it up because a volcano in the Philippines, where she's from, just erupted in her home island. And so half of the proceeds or not half, the profit is going to go to help them get clean water. So if you haven't seen that yet, or you don't know about Mojo Sews, definitely check her out. But yeah, so this is going to be my pattern, or not my pattern, my video for the 30-minute marathon for Saturday. Oh, nice. When I was at Mojo Sews, Jenna was there, and I bought some of her Swiftmas fabric, but I haven't used it up, and I bought the matching tags to go with it too. So now I'm just sewing down the sides to connect those to the top and bottom top stitches. And I'm leaving the tails long again, so I can just, tie them again at the back. And on the back, the pocket is down. And I'm doing the same thing. My Teflon foot is thicker on the left side and skinnier on the right. So I have to maneuver sometimes to make sure that, like, where my top stitching is or where it goes, to make sure I'm using the right side. I really want to get one that has both sides the same, because I find that the skinnier side is the side that whatever my you know how you have preferences sometimes with sewing. For whatever reason, I don't like going to that one side, but I've kind of learned to do it. And this crocodile vinyl is kind of thick, but my machine really likes it. I think it does because the texture helps pull it in, but also the Teflon foot, and I don't really have any problems with it. Hi, Yvonne. Thanks for hopping in. Alright, I'm just trying to, I might have accidentally pulled this. I think I pulled this one out, so I'm just going to grab a needle to make sure that I can thread this through the right way. Yeah, I accidentally pulled out a stitch. So if that happens, I just take one of these hand sewing needles and thread it through from the front. I used to find this really overwhelming. Like when I first saw it done in tutorials, I didn't really understand like how people were doing it. But once I learned, it's actually become like a favorite of mine to use to hide your back stitches. It just takes time to have to knot it all. That's the only downside. And so since I did both the left and the right side, I have 4 to tie right now. So I'm really excited to get this done because I can't wait to use this bag. I made a dragon because I love dragons. My whole life I grew up reading fantasy novels, and that was inspired by my dad. He has like this whole bookshelf of fantasy and sci-fi books. So ever since I was a kid, I've been really big into those genres. So So this one here is really, really short. When I was tugging on the other one, I almost think my stitches, my tension was off a little bit because I was pulling that bottom thread almost through the stitches. Oh, hi, Dad. Yeah, my dad's on. He still has the big bookshelf. I've probably read all the fantasy books. It's not so much all the sci-fi. Those are hit or miss. And actually, my dad and I still trade books when we get new books and whatnot. And now my sister has also started enjoying the fantasy genre. Hi, Holly. So, are any of you big readers or enjoy reading? Dad, I'm glad you said hi. Sometimes Dad's on and he's like, "Oh, I just didn't say anything tonight." So, glad you're saying hi. Alright, so now I have the whole box completely top stitched. You can check, make sure your zipper, your pocket isn't sewn. Always do that. Like I said, I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally sewn a pocket closed. And again, we're binding this bag, so I don't need to leave a turning opening to turn. So what I'm going to do is just fold back the top and close up the sides of my pockets. Historical fiction. Nice. Adventure. So the other books, some of them I can get into. It just kind of depends. But my go-to, not nonfiction. Nonfiction is so hard for me to read. But if it's fiction, I don't mind some of the other genres. And so my mom likes more of like the romance novels and stuff. She does not like the sci-fi fantasy genre. It's really funny because she works in a school, and a couple years ago they had to read the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and it was just so funny hearing her talk about it when she came home. We still joke about it. Meanwhile, that's one of my favorite books, and I think one of the first like true fantasy novels that I really read. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, fantasy and sci-fi all day are my favorites. You know, that's maybe an audio. I don't enjoy audiobooks for fantasy and sci-fi, but you know what? Maybe they wouldn't be so bad for nonfiction. Because it would be kind of like a podcast, I would imagine. Oh, do you really? Dawn, put your Instagram handle in the chat so I can follow you. I would love to follow you, if I don't already. Or send me a message if you follow me on Instagram. That way I can follow you back. And I'm just trimming some of the excess zipper and some of the excess where I've closed up this pocket. Hi, Io. How are you tonight? too, but I don't know my username. I think it might, it's definitely, I don't think it's so Majestic. I should add that, because that would be fun to follow different people. Your birthday's Friday the 13th? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's awesome. That's a fun birthday. Alright, so yay. I just finished the back pocket. So I think what I'm going to do is, I am going to do an interior slip pocket. And normally when I open my bag, I like my pocket on the back. But I don't think I want to bulk it up with both this back zipper pocket and a slip pocket on the same. So I think I'm going to put the plain lining. And because we're binding, I'm just putting them wrong sides together. So I'm going to clip that now and base that into place. I probably should mark my centers and line it up nicely, but I very rarely do that unless it's like a film tutorial. I'm just matching up all the way around. Oh, Io, yeah. Did you have a busy day? Also, the weather does not help today. It's been one of those, like, dreary day. I was very happy that I could work remote today because it was one of those days where I just don't want to leave the house. Oh, Friday the 13th. I guess this is a popular birthday, or 13th. I guess the date to fall on. All right, and I think I'm going to, since I have my Teflon foot, I think I'm just going to base stitch it with the vinyl side up. Oh, how cold, Kim? I know Minnesota gets super cold. I had to check for tomorrow because I know it was supposed to be rainy. Tonight's been pretty windy, so I don't know if, I know parts are of wind warnings tomorrow. Like some pretty strong gusts too, like 60 miles per hour and stuff, so. I bet. I don't like winter in the sense that it's always like cold, but I love winter, like the first snow when the trees are all covered or whatnot, and it looks all pretty. But here in the city, that doesn't last long because it gets dirty quick with all the traffic and the roads and stuff. So I just basted that on, and because the way it folded up, or even just my cutting, there's a little bit here, so I'm just going to trim the edge of the lining that I can see. Oh my gosh, 13 down into the negative. Yeah, that's no fun. You can keep that leather in Minnesota. Don't let it come to New York. And I just have a garbage can below me, so I'm cutting into that right now. I know you probably can't see it the way the cameras are angled. Alright, so I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to do the slip pocket. Yeah, 76, Liz, we definitely are jealous. So this one's for me, Holly. I love dragons, so I've had this idea in my head for literally probably a year since I made the original Hugo, the Bat Hugo. So a few months ago, I cut out and appliqued the face, and then it just kind of sat on the back burner. So I'm really excited to put the rest together. Right now the bag that I'm using is like a quilted one. It's a Addy shoulder bag as a crossbody, and it's like summery spring, so I'm excited to use this one. Oh yeah, warm up the car. This is the one thing that sinks in the city, warming up your car. Like, obviously you don't want to turn it on and keep it running, so it's like sitting out there waiting for it to warm up. Hi Nikki, how are you tonight? Oh wow, Alaska. Yeah, I had a cousin who lived in Alaska. And a good friend from college too. I heard it's beautiful though. It's definitely a bucket list. I'd love to go visit, but I could not imagine winter. So this interior zipper pocket, I'm just folding it right sides together, and I'm going to turn it right side out and put an overlay on the top. She does it a little bit different. She has it so that your overlay is kind of like sewed into it. I just find this way a little bit easier, so I'm doing it this way. Oh wow, cousins from Utah. Oh well, Utah gets really cold too, though. Well, I guess depending on the part, right? And with this water-resistant canvas, you can interface it. It interfaces like really nicely, but I generally don't interface it unless I'm using it as like a exterior that I want structured. For the interiors, I never do. All right, so I haven't cut the overlay for the top yet. So I have a mini cutting board I'm going to grab real quick because I'm just going to cut it right here. I wasn't sure how I was going to what's it called? To do the interior yet, so. And then I have this ruler. This one's from Mormino. It's the 8x6, and I use it all the time. And this little cutting mat is from the Dollar Tree, and it works so well. I use it all the time for stuff like this. And I'm short, so it's like awkward for me to cut it sitting down, so I'm just standing up real quick to do it. And I'm cutting it about 1.25 inches, so that way when it folds over, I have enough room that I catch it on the front and the back. And these type of overlays I avoided for a while as well, mostly because I was like, oh, the double-sided tape gets in the way, but it doesn't really if you move it towards the edges. And I just grabbed a pen so I can mark my center line. Yeah, Kim, I love the dollar mat from the Dollar Tree. It's so convenient. Oh, no problem, Nikki. Oh, the math is the worst part. So I'm curious, when you do the math, or when you make your patterns, do you like draw them out first on like paper or whatnot, I tend to go automatically into Illustrator and do the math out while I'm like doing the pattern pieces. Like I tend to make my pattern pieces in Illustrator first, print them, then test to make sure it goes together, instead of, I know some people do like cutting the fabric and putting the bag together first and then getting the math. I always find it interesting to hear everybody's process for it. I'm hoping that this is center, mostly center. Speaking of math, I don't feel like trying to find the middle of 1 1/4. I volunteer as tester trivia. Oh yeah, anything below 65 is cold. It's funny, Liz, because when I lived in Florida, I would agree, but I feel like cold in the South is different from cold in the North. So I went back for my college reunion a few years ago, and it was like 65, and we were on the beach, and I'm like, no, 65 is cold, and we were like playing with like mini golf with our hoodies on and all sorts of stuff. But like, 65 up here in New York would have been like a beautiful spring day. Oh my god, 23 tonight. Oh yay, Affinity. I've heard wonderful things about Affinity. You schedule it out and figure the measure in Tetris. Oh, that's great. You're the Tetris master. Yeah, I think it's so cool how I think it's the teacher part of me where I really appreciate how everybody learns differently, that I just find it so fascinating how either how designers like write their patterns, or even just how people approach sewing the different patterns. It's all interesting. Alright, so I just put some double-sided tape, and I am going to stick this and then fold it over. And I always leave it a little bit extra long to give myself some wiggle room, but you want to backstitch on the actual vinyl, or otherwise, if you do it off the edge, it will get cut off, and then your top stitch will not be held in place. Alright, so now that it's stuck, I'm just going to top stitch it across. And this I'm going to pay attention because I know that this might get a little sticky. And actually the double-sided tape that I'm using right now is from the dollar store too. It's really not that bad. It's not quite as sticky as this kind of had bought on Amazon previously, but for being in a pinch, works pretty good. Oh, that would be cool. That would be a great YouTube video to show the process. Alright, and I'm just making sure that I caught both sides in the stitch. And so I always look, whatever side looks nicer. Obviously I put that one towards the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this in half, and I'm going to grab my chalk pen. I love chalk. I use chalk all the time. I got this one from Becky from Hannah Woodworking, and I love it. Comes with like a little sharpener inside. So anytime I can use chalk on a material, I'll go to that first. Yeah. And I know Demi gives like a measurement in her patterns. I'm just eyeballing it right now. I'm gonna line up the centers of the pocket, but eyeballing it in terms of making sure I give myself enough space from the bottom and around the edges. And I have regular pins that I'm gonna hold the pocket on. When I was at Michelle's, people were using, instead of sew tights, they were using magnetic name tags. And they recommended them for like interior pockets and stuff, or to hold stuff. And I was like, oh, that's genius. So I need to order some. You think chalk stains? Yeah, so the yellow, like you said, the yellow clover, I've heard that any other color besides the white stains. I just buy, well, now I have this one from Becky that uses like chalk inserts. But before that, I just bought the white Taylor's chalk that comes in that block. And I've never had a problem with chalk staining. But I've always only used the white chalk. Yeah, so this is from Becky Hannah. It's Hannah Woodworking, Hanna, and it's awesome. So you push down this center, and there's it broke, but like you can see the chalk piece in here. But what's cool is that this top opens, and it's a built-in sharpener, so you can put it on the end. It's not pushed out far enough, but you can sharpen it, and it holds. You can see there's more chalk inside. And when she sells them, they also come with an insert that you can use it as a regular pen and as a regular pencil. This is probably my favorite tool that I've ever bought myself. So darker fabrics. So for dark fabrics, the white chalk works great. When they're lighter, that's where I have the trouble that sometimes I will use chalk if I can still see it. My other favorite pen that I don't know what happened to it is the blue water soluble pen that they sell at, you get it at like Joann's or Walmart. Hey, Dan. But yeah, that water soluble pen, but only on cotton. I've had problems with it coming out of like poly bases, but if it's a cotton base, that is my favorite tool. All right, so now I'm just gonna backstitch and then go all the way around to attach this pocket in. Oh, hi, Mom. Mom saying hi now from my dad's account. When I was home last time, I showed Mom how to go in so she could like one of my videos. So Dad, you'll have to show her, or I'll have to, when I come home again, put it back in so she can watch too. Mom, I was telling everybody how much you love the Hobbit book at school. Oh, painter's tape to hold on your pockets? That's a good idea. Sometimes I've used Scotch tape too. But only if I'm gonna sew it really quick, because obviously it doesn't stick very well. But painter tape, that's a good idea. A lot of people use painter's tape with quilting and helping them mark their lines. And I just backstitched a couple times at the top to make sure I really caught that pocket. Yeah, Nicole, I've heard that it works really well. I need to try that because like I love piecing, but I've only ever quilted like really small things like for bags and stuff, but part of it being because of how overwhelming it would be to draw the lines. But I think if I use the painter's tape, it doesn't sound so bad. Nicole, are you doing the puzzle mystery quilt with cotton cuts? The next one that just opened up. Alright, so now that I have that middle pocket, if I was making this to sell, I would probably put some rivets or some, I can't talk tonight, sorry, Chicago screws, just to help hold it in place, but because it's for me, I'm not going to. And that chalk line, I'm not going to remove now. I'll just take like a wet paper towel after. And depending, sometimes by the end of a project, the chalk just from going over it has already come off. Yeah, so for the next puzzle mystery quilt, I am going to be the ambassador for Phoenix, which is a autumn, like it looks like fall leaves, and it's batiks. And I've never sewn with batiks before, so I'm really excited about that. Okay. And so now I'm just lining it up to clip this to base stitch this on, but what I'm going to be careful for is I don't want to sew over the horn, so I'm just going to clip it on and then sew from the front. Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about batiks. Sean from The Guy Who Sews loves batiks, and that's usually the quilt that he does. The one last time that I picked for him, Tombstone, with some Tim Holtz fabric, is the first time he's ever did one of the mystery quilts that wasn't batiks. So I'm really excited to try them. Oh, that's good to know. I'm really looking forward to it then. Alright, so again, I clipped it, and I am going to top stitch around to hold the lining on, and then when I get to the horns, I'm just going to pull them forward so they don't get caught in the stitch. Oh, really, Dawn? That's good. Yeah, so what caught my eye about this one was just in the last puzzle mystery quilt when we did the reveal, the one that had colors with like that looked like fall leaves like turned out so beautiful, and I was like, oh, I really want to do one that looks like that next. And the one that had the similar colors just happened to be batiks, and so I was really excited that they're so cotton cuts. Sometimes we like last time we did something fun and Sean and I chose for each other, but they also like we can just I am so sorry. We can also just tell them our top 3 choices, and so the batiks one was my top choice, and I was so excited when they said that I could do that one. That starts in the first clue for that doesn't start till February. The sign-ups just opened last week on their website, last Friday. So where I'm going over this black vinyl, it's sticking a little bit, but it's also because I'm going through much. There's 3 layers of vinyl there, plus the water resistant canvas. So this bag does get a little thick. If you ever try the Hugo bag and you're sewing on a domestic, you definitely want to be mindful of the fabrics you're choosing, because the horns and the little flaps are two sides of vinyl. But I think a way that you could make this smaller would be maybe do the outside, the front side vinyl, and maybe use like a heat HTV, or the heat vinyl that you can press on for the back. I bet that would make it a little bit thinner. Oh, Liz, so definitely pick one of the gifts. Might as well kill two birds with one stone, right? Hey, Brittany! Brittany, I was just telling Liz that I loved her bag that she made with you this weekend. I can't wait for you to release the pattern. So cute. Oh, you have to make it, Brittany. It's such a fun bag. Yeah, anyone, if you haven't tried this bag, I was so intimidated by it. And once I tried it, I really, really loved it. And a fun fact, the Hugo bag that I did for the tutorial, the bat, was the first YouTube tutorial that I ever did that wasn't for my own patterns. And she's having a spa week. Oh, well, hopefully she gets back to you soon. Alright, and so again on this side where there's a little bit of extra lining, I'm just going to trim that off real quick. And again, I'm just trimming it off into a garbage can, which is why you can't see it right now. So I apologize for that. Alright, perfect. So now I have my front and my back. And I have the linings and the gusset and everything here. I'm going to end up changing the handle a little bit. I have webbing instead. She does this really cool handle that you can turn right sides out and make it out of vinyl, but I just like using the webbing because it's much quicker. So I will be adapting that. I think I'm gonna save that for next Tuesday, because this bag is gonna take a little bit together to put all together. But I think the last step I am going to do tonight is I do want to add purse feet into this. So I'm going to draw out the placement for the purse feet. So I'm just finding my center, and I always just fold things in half. Aww. Now you have to make another one, Liz. And I don't know if you have tried it, the interfacing that I'm using on this, it calls for Decoville Light and Decoville Heavy on the bottom. But I'm using, I never say it right, the Wawac or Wawac, however you properly pronounce that. I am using their branded one that is supposed to be similar to Decoville. I think it's a little bit thinner, but I really, really like it. And I definitely recommend it. It does have this clear protector on it though that you have to peel off before you use it, which I did not know the first time, and that was bad because I was like heating it and I was like, why isn't this coming off? But once I figured it out, it was great. And so I'm just gonna put these, I'm trying to think because I need to leave room for the seam allowance. I think I'm gonna put them about 2 inches out from the center. Like, yeah. So like 2 inches out and 1 inch up. And I always put 5 purse feet. I always put 1 in the center. I'm curious, if you guys do purse feet, do you do 4 or do you do 5? Wah whack? It is how you say it? Wah whack? Okay. Not way. Alright, perfect. Thank you. It's funny, we were at Mojo So's, we were saying it, and Trina was like, I call it Wawa with a K, and if you're from the Northeast, there's like a, well, I think they're starting to spread out, but there's a gas station called Wawa, so it was really funny. Oh good, you do 5 too. Okay, perfect. Oh, the stocking is cute, the one with the boot on it. So I'm grabbing purse feet here. I have a whole bag of them. These were samples that I got from a supplier and not the ones that I carry in my shop. These are not my favorite because, I'll show you. The bottom of these purse feet have like an opening. Now, they have the opening for the screw hole, but then they're not like a solid base. So the ones that I actually carry in the shop are from a different supplier that have a solid base, but I always use these for bags on myself, or for myself, because they do work, they just don't always catch very quickly. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the stocking was really neat. I did see that today. And she just did a really cool like I can't think of it. The old doctor mask. I know there's a term for it. The one with like the beak and stuff. She's so creative with stuff like that. Plague doctor. There you go. Couldn't think of it. And I'm just using a hand punch from Mormino. I know that they make like for the big presses, like punching, like hole, like dies and stuff for the hole punch. But I definitely prefer the hand one. The only thing is it's a little harder to fit in some places. Alright. And then whenever I do my purse feet, or even rivets, I like to add a little bit extra as just kind of like a backing. So I'm literally just cutting random, not random, but big enough scraps off of here to help back the feet, to give it some more support. Yeah, thank you, Nikki. I could not think of Plague Doctor. I'm like, the kind of creepy guy. Alright, and so then I just, for these, this part, I just randomly punch the center. Oh man, I hope these screws fit. I think I grabbed the screws from the other. Yeah, they're gonna fit. So these screws are actually from the ones that we carry regularly in the shop, so I'll show you the difference. Alright, so the one on the left is, you can see it's a little bit more hollow, and the one on the right has the solid base. And in my opinion, the solid base works much better. So these are the kind that I actually carry for retail. Alright, and then I have the magnetic screwdriver, which is so helpful when it comes to anything with all these little small screws. wall whacking can is cleaner supply. That's funny. That's a fun fact. Alright, and so whenever I'm putting on purse feet, I always try to catch it with my hand and then install the rest with the holding one side with my hand, the other side with the screwdriver. Alright, and so that way this extra bit of vinyl gives it a little bit of cushion. It doesn't stick out so much on the bottom. And you can put like some duct tape or whatnot over them. Depending where it is, I will to keep it from rubbing. But again, since the bag's for me, I probably won't. It's just one other step. Have any of you tried purse feet, like rivet purse feet? My supplier accidentally sent me them for the rainbow option, but I think I need a special dye for them. Oh, yeah. I have like a whole stack of things. I still have 2 backpacks that I want to film. I have a list of things too. I was telling Jason tonight, I was like, there's so many things that I want to get done. None of them I have to do though, so it's nice. It's all just things that I kind of want to do. Wow, these are actually going on, I hope I didn't just jinx it, but they're going on much better than normal. I almost wonder, these are, like I said, these are different screws than this purse feet supplier, but I almost wonder if that was the issue, if these actually work better with them. Yeah, Liz, it really, really is. Someone had a post today, I can't remember if it was in the So Whatever group or the Creative Bag Making, about how like all day they'll think about sewing projects and then come home and just like don't have the energy to sew. And I related to that so much. And I think a lot of people did too based on the comments. But one of the things that I said is that it's part of the reason why I scheduled lives for Tuesday and kind of chose Tuesday night. Just to kind of give me that momentum in the week. And it's like, okay, I have a live. I have to go on and do something, you know? Otherwise, I might not be so energized. The other thing, too, is I'm not in the classroom right now. If I was in the classroom, I don't know if I'd have the energy to sew during the week at all. Alright, awesome. So now I have the purse feet on, and they're not spread all the way out because part of this bag curls up into the gusset. So if I put them too far out, it would have not fit so properly. And so like I said, you can put duct tape or painter's tape, something over these. You can also put, some people put like Loctite and stuff in the screws. I didn't. I haven't had a problem with that. And like I said, especially because this bag is for me, so I'm not too worried about it. So I think I'm going to stop there for the night and then leave the rest of this for next week. So next Tuesday, I'll just put the zipper and let me pull it to show you. trying to keep everything near here. It is so hard. So in order, the gusset has two pieces. This thicker piece that the handle gets put on, and then this smaller piece here. So the zipper will be sandwiched between it. And so I'm going to use the webbing to create the handle on this piece here on the right. So that will be, so next week I'll put the handle, add the zipper, and then put the whole bag together with the binding. So, but thank you guys for joining me again tonight. Like I said, I really do look forward to Tuesdays, and as I just said, it keeps my motivation going to sew during the week. And again, like I really look forward to so many of you coming back every Tuesday. And I know a couple of people have messaged that they don't always put in the chat, but they watch. So thank you to those of you who do that too. I really, really do appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the night and a good rest of the week. If you are around on Saturday, we're doing the 30-minute sewing marathon. My video is set to premiere, so you could like click it on my YouTube for a reminder. But in my groups, I'll put the links for everybody. We're doing the quick 30-minute gifts. So I'll also be live in the chat for the premiere on Saturday. So, all right, have a good night, guys. I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, Nikki, do it. Yes, if you guys haven't participated, you want to participate, there's definitely openings. We have time, so if you can get something in a video, that would be awesome to expand our marathon. So, all right, good night, everyone. Bye.